Hello and Happy New Year. I'm Matt Sheridan. I've been asked to do a little demonstration on how to get your horse to step over to pick you up off an obstacle. So this morning I'd like to share that with you. In a moment I'll do that with this gelding. He is not a horse that's done this very much. He's had a time or two where he's actually stepped over to something and picked somebody up. So we'll do a little teaching with him today. I'll talk about some of the things I'm looking for. The big thing to realize recognize when you're working with your horse and want him to step over is that he doesn't need a lot of groundwork. He doesn't need a lot of gimmicks or tools. All you really need is a halter and a lead, and you can pretty much do anything you need to as far as teaching your horse to step over. Today I'll show you the way I do things. It's pretty similar to the way a lot of gentlemen do it and a lot of trainers out there do it. This is what's worked well for me and for my students. And a couple things here as we go. I'm going to use the tail of the rope to encourage the horse to move. I will not use a cluck. A cluck means leave or go to me, and this is not a go cue, this is a come to me cue. We'll only work on the left side today, and we're going to watch for every little try that this horse would give me. So let me show you how I do that. We'll step over here. I'm going to use this bucket today to get my horse to step over to pick me up. I'll lay over him, I'll do some things, I'll show you kind of how I'd set this deal up, and then maybe you can try it with your horse at home. So again, this horse, he's done this a time or two, so we're going to treat him as though he's never actually stepped over to anything before. We just pulled him out of the pasture, and he's standing over here. There's a lot of times where your horse is going to end up first time you ask him to actually step over to you. I'm going to take my halter lead and I'm going to get down to about 15 inches on that lead. Put my coil in my left hand and I'll just pick the tail of my rope up. At first that horse might step away as he did. I'll go ahead and throw my rope over the offside here a little bit. See if I can get him to take a try to step towards me here. As soon as he takes a step in my direction, I'll take the pressure away. I can rub him if I like, but it's not necessary. Again, I'll ask him. As he took that step, he was stepping before my rope actually went over that offside. I released that energy in that rope to step down so it wouldn't hit him in his rib cage. Now as this horse moves to me, you'll see his hip is away from me a little bit and his shoulder is to me. What I want is I want this shoulder away slightly or even, and I want this hip inside towards me a bit more. So we're going to ask him to come on over just a little bit more. I can hold him up with my left hand here. Keep that shoulder from driving into me. There's his hip. Now I've got my horse in. The reason I like my horse's hip in and his shoulder away is that if he goes to leave, if his hip's away, he's going to spin away quite quickly from me. If his shoulder's out slightly and his hip is in, generally I'm going to pick up on that lead if I needed to, and I would bring that horse back to me. So this is a way I could teach him to step to me. He chose to leave there. That's all right. I'll just start him back again to me. Make the right thing easy and the wrong thing difficult. And we don't have to be real tough on him here. It's usually just about persistence. Again, he started to step. I release that energy in my rope. Ask him to step again. Release that energy in my rope. He gets his hip in just right. That is absolutely perfect right here. So now I can kind of lay over my horse and rub on him a little bit. Maybe I want to jump up on him and see if he can stay here for me. Rub on him a bit. If I had a saddle, I would go ahead and put my foot in the stirrup, put a little weight in that stirrup. But you'll notice I don't hold this horse here. It's his job to stay, not my job to keep him here. Again, I'll jump up, lay over him, rub that horse, make sure he can stay, make sure I can crawl around here. If he goes to leave, I just step back on my barrel there. Again, we'll set him up. Ask him to step back in. We've never done this with this horse bareback, so this is a little bit of a learning thing for him. Ask him to step back up in here. Bring him back in. Get that hip just a skosh closer. There we go. Nice and close. Pushing me off my barrel practically. So again, get him to stay here. Drag myself up on it. See if he'll stay put. Notice I kind of laid out real flat as I went up there in case I need to step back down. I don't want to swing up on him like I would normally, because if he goes to leave, I need to go back to my barrel. I want my horse to then be settled, stay here, I'll lay out, I'll rub him with my foot as I step back down and onto my barrel. Even off my barrel sometimes. So Anyhow, when I want the horse to leave finally, and I'm satisfied with his ability to stay and let me get on, I'll then send him, just like I would if I was going to lunge him or send him out on a circle or anything. I'll cluck him, send that horse's hip away from me right here. Once he's out here, I can rub him, love him, and enjoy him just as much right here. Thanks, D. He's obviously relaxing too. So let's send him back one more time and we'll wrap this little demonstration up for you. There we go. Now, as you work with your horse more and more, what you're going to find is this horse will get where you step on something, a barrel, a fence, or whatever, and he'll just go ahead, come on over for you, and he'll get ahead of you with just a little bit of practice. My average horse will take about 15 minutes to teach this. This isn't a half-day project. If you just time your ask when every time that horse moves in your direction, whether it be a shoulder or hip initially, the horse starts to come to you, you take the pressure away. Reward as they start to bring that hip, take the pressure off. You can even give them a little rub. As they get in closer, let them come to you. And then once they get this hip over here, it can be settled and comfortable right here. We rub on them, love on them, and then we can try half mounts and full mounts on our horse. Thank you very much for watching.